Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take this occasion to talk about the purchasing of pre-sewn upholstery. Now, some technicians that don't have a sewing machine are buying upholstery already stitched, ready to apply. So I thought I'd give it a try as well and give you some feedback. Actually, I do this quite often. I purchase items that others are using because I know that somewhere down the line I'll have to field those questions. What do you think about this or that product? In fact, people were talking about this nice new line of aerosol colors, so I bought one and wasted my money on it. But if you've watched a couple of my videos and you're using aerosols, you know that you and I are not in the same business. So this is one of the easier consoles to work with. Just a few screws to take the bottom plate off, and then a few screws on the hinge. I'm taking a knife and just cutting away the vinyl so I don't have to take the staples out. A little shortcut on this one. And then a couple of screws to take the latch off of there, just to make it easy to finish removing the rest of the vinyl. That's it. The new cover fits on just right. Line it up so you make sure you have the right orientation. We're doing a nice even fit all the way around here. This is a really nice fit, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's a notch in the back to line up with the center point. So let's start there. Now I'm going to be using 3/8 inch staples here. The plastic is thick enough to accept the 3/8 inch staples, and those are the more rugged variety for reupholstery if you can use them, and we are. This is pretty basic here. There aren't any special skills required to do this, so if you're a mobile technician, this is certainly well within your reach. What I'm doing first of all is just snugging it up north, south, east, and west. We're looking for that stitch line to follow that edge nicely. Now what I found with this cover is once I had it snugged up like this, the corners just seemed to fall right into place without any extra work, no extra stretching. Everything seemed to be just like a natural fit here. What a nice, easy job. Now in a few locations here there are some plastic ribs, and so I'm going to just snip the vinyl right over the ribs so that we can lay it down. I don't know if that's going to impact anything in particular. It'll probably affect the way that that plastic cover snaps back into it. The original was trimmed here as well, so I'm just following suit. As a rule of thumb, when you have a section to do, staple it at the halfway mark, and then in between there, staple halfway again. This way you tend to gather the material equally around the perimeter. Now the only disadvantage I could see with ordering one of these pre-sewn covers is that you have to wait a couple of days. An upholstery shop could just whip one out right away the same day. You wouldn't have to wait. But as I was working on this, I was thinking that even if an upholstery shop ordered these covers, if they had a couple of days, that would sure expedite the job. And they're so inexpensive that it just might behoove a shop to order these on occasion, just to speed things up and get the vehicles out the door. The quality of this vinyl is very good. The cut of the material is just like you would cut it as an OEM factory part. I'm so impressed on the fit. So a lot of thought went into preparing this template for this one so that it just works perfectly. Now, if I could work perfectly, we'd be all set here. Of course, the reinstall is just as quick or quicker. By the way, we're still trying to figure out a way to handle the Mercedes console lids that are not really repairable. If you try to recover them, they break into pieces. You have to buy pretty much the entire console, which is going to be prohibitive, of course, on those models. But perhaps we'll discover a way, and if we do, we'll share it, or if you found a way, feel free to share it in the comments. All said and done, I'm really happy with the way this console looks. Now, on the door, there's a cover plate, which is plastic, that pries right off over top of these two screws up here by the latch. There's also one more screw underneath the door pull. Right in here, but I'm sort of in the way. And then pull the upholstery clips loose, and the door panel lifts off the door. Leave everything hooked up, and you can get your screwdriver behind there and get those 3 screws. This is not a very good view. I'm out of the frame a little bit, but I'll show you a better view when we go back together, I assure you. If you had a little stubby screwdriver, you wouldn't even have to remove the door panel totally. You can just reach back in there and do that manually. But just lift it off the door, and then you can get a proper screwdriver in there to do the trick. This is just hung up on the one stanchion here right on the corner, so I'm going to have to just give that a little bit of prying. It's not fastened with anything, it's just hooked around. So that's pretty easy. Just the 3 screws after it snaps into place. That's all there is. And this piece is just glued on. So nothing to do but just to peel it loose. And we'll glue the new one on as well. Now you'll see there's a little bit of the foam that's missing, and I do not have the right size foam to recover the entire armrest. I don't have it with me on the van, And so I'm just electing to go with it like it is, as opposed to try to put a new piece of foam in there. That's going to probably show. If you don't cover the whole thing, it's better not to do anything. Of course, each job is subject to its own judgment as far as what you want to do, what you're willing to do. So I'm using a very strong, high-strength adhesive. Mobile, you can use the aerosol. There's no need to have a gun just for adhesive, like as if you had ready in an upholstery shop. It's just handier, mobile, to go with the aerosol version. The heavy-duty one is the stringy one. If it's not stringy, it's not good enough for automotive. Notice the little channel here, which lines up right there with that seam. That's really nice. So make sure that the seam falls into the channel, and everything's going to be lined up. We'll give it some more adhesive here around the bottom side, because we're just going to wrap this around. Give it a few minutes to tack before you finally press it home. This piece is also trimmed like it would be a factory part. I'm very impressed with the layout of this. I'm just cutting the corner piece. Cut it loose to fold the corner in first, and then bevel these side pieces so that I can, fold them over top of the corner piece. Nothing out of the ordinary here. It's pretty easy to do. Just wrap it around. Now, the one thing that I have found on some of these, on the tight corners, I will take a staple that's only a 1/4 inch long, and I'll see if I can get by with that and just hit those tough spots with a 1/4 inch staple. The plastic is not very thick here, so we can't use a 3/8 staple. A 1/4 inch can go through as well, but we'll lighten up on the application of the staple. Just give it a little, just a little extra holding power without going through the plastic. You probably don't need these staples. I had one come loose last time, so I figured I might throw a staple in here and there on this one. I just may not have done a good enough job last time. And I think maybe the vinyl that I was using when I sewed up my own cover is maybe that vinyl was a little heavier than this vinyl, and that's why I had a problem with it. This vinyl seems to wrap and hold nicely. Okay, so just put it in place here and hinge right around, and it just falls right into place. Snap it in place. That's it. That is it. We'll go around and put those screws in. We've got a little better look this time. 3 screws. All they do is snug that up a little bit. Now, in conclusion, I'm very happy with the way these pieces fit on there. They look factory installed. The customer is going to be extremely happy with it. This particular model is rather straightforward to repair. This is the Honda Pilot. I think this is a really good idea for the mobile repair technician and could even supplement an upholstery shop's approach to some repairs. Okay, hang the door. We have 3 screws to put in. We have a cover plate to put on. And that little trim piece on the top just snaps in place, nothing to it. If it was any easier, they wouldn't let us call it work.